The word NBA bust might be one of the most controversial words in NBA convos because, depending on who you ask, you'll get completely different answers. Some believe the term NBA bust isn't even in the picture until about 3 years down the line, which I somewhat agree with. Then others would say that any rookie that highly underperforms to their expectations is a bust even if it's only been 1 year. And then finally, if you ask Kwame Brown, he'll tell you that as long as he made the NBA and put his family on, you can't call him a bust, basically removing any type of on-the-court performance from the equation, which I know sounds crazy, but there are people who agree with that. But anyway, like I said, there's just a bunch of different viewpoints. And today, I want to talk about a few players that I think most would agree haven't lived up to their expectations and why I believe they might actually break out or have their best seasons yet in this year. So yeah, but really quick before I go any further, and I haven't said this in a while, but what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks back with a vid. If you're new, first of all, welcome, go ahead and sub. Also like the vid if you enjoy. When I was consistent, I was uploading about 3 to 4 times a week. And then college started. But life happens, and I'm gonna just try to bring y'all some consistent content as the NBA season begins again. So I appreciate every single viewer, every single sub, I mean that. And back to the vid though. So first we've got the Atlanta Hawks, Cam Reddish. Someone whose hype coming out of college had more to do with his potential rather than his performance. I mean, we all know Duke's big three of Zion, RJ, and Cam was crazy. But Cam's production at Duke wasn't that special, but it was good enough to be taken 10th overall in the 2019 NBA draft. And if we were to only look at his regular season numbers for his first 2 years in the NBA, it makes sense why some would call him a bust. And I'm sure most would say he's underperformed. But if we look beyond the numbers and move on to how he's actually looked and his ability, there's plenty of reason to believe this man could break out. He's great at shot creation, his handles are nice, and his defense is good enough to be seen as a two-way threat. And yeah, I just think we've got to see more while he's actually healthy, because he's had stretches of great performances. In his 4 playoff games this past season, he averaged 14 points and just under 4 rebounds on amazing efficiency in limited minutes, while only putting up 9 shots each game. I mean, I understand it's only 4 games, which is a very low sample size, but when you consider that he's battled injury and the flashes of great plays he's shown, I believe he's worthy of the benefit of the doubt as far as becoming a much better player than he currently seems to be. And we might just see that this season. Next, we've got the New York Knicks, Obi Toppin, someone who had a lot of hype coming into the NBA, being that he was the 8th pick and drafted to his home team. However, throughout the year, he wasn't given much minutes, and his overall production was a reflection of that. Overall, he put up 4 points and 2 rebounds in 11 minutes per game. Obviously not great for a lottery pick. However, now that he's going into his 2nd year, not only do I believe he'll be given more minutes naturally, but I believe he'll take a leap as far as production, because his actual abilities are not the problem. He's really athletic, his jump shot is fluid for his size, and he can dribble well enough to score off drives in the painted area. I mean, he showed all of this in the Summer League. And I know Summer League doesn't matter, we're not supposed to think much of it, but it's definitely encouraging that he averaged 21 points and 8 rebounds in the 6 games he played. He went out there and looked more advanced than his competition, basically doing what he's supposed to. And yeah, overall, I expect him to quiet the bust fears in his sophomore season. Next, we've got the Orlando Magic's Markelle Fultz. Now, Fultz is definitely one of the more interesting young players in the NBA, because his time in the league thus far has been a mixture of disappointment, satisfaction, and just a bunch of stuff that aren't common for a former number 1 pick, like literally the 1st overall pick. And I gotta admit, there's just as much reasons to believe Markelle will never break out as there is to believe why he could break out. It really all comes down to this man staying healthy, which he's yet to prove in his NBA career. However, I believe the 2022 season could be different, simply because the opportunity is still there. See, I assume the Magic starting backcourt will consist of Jalen Suggs at the 2 and Fultz at the 1, because we all know Fultz hasn't shown the shooting ability necessary for the 2, even though he's got the right size. But he's easily a good enough playmaker for the 1, and the last time he carried this role, he achieved his best season to date, producing a solid 12 points and 5 assists on 47% shooting on average in the 2020 NBA season. So yeah, overall, with some luck as far as health, Markelle should be able to build off the decent momentum he created basically 1 season ago, and he might just break out. But next we've got the Lakers' Malik Monk, and Malik's low-key fresh off a breakout season already. I mean, he had some crazy performances just last year with the Hornets, and his efficiency did not disappoint. However, if you saw what he was doing at Kentucky before the NBA and how capable he was as far as scoring explosively, then you should already know the best has yet to come. We're talking about a very J.R. Smith type of guard that can provide primetime highlights while also shooting the ball at a high level. He recently averaged nearly 12 points on 40% shooting from 3 with the Hornets on like 5 attempts per game. And before y'all bring this up, I understand his role on the Lakers will likely be smaller than it was on the Hornets, but I believe he's going to break out in terms of respect across the league and the love he gets from fans and just how known he is. And he's going to achieve this simply through his contribution to winning throughout the season, because you gotta realize Malik Monk may have a smaller role, but he's in position to fill a very important need for the Lakers, which is simply perimeter shooting, specifically in the playoffs. Think about it, we've seen great shooters in the regular season suddenly drop off in the postseason, like Joe Harris for the Nets. But if Malik continues to produce efficiently when it actually matters, I guarantee all the NBA BUSTS comments brought up after his disappointing years in the past will officially be over with. It'll be a wrap, and that really might just happen this season. But anyway, now for the final player of this video, we've got the Bulls' Coby White, someone who I feel is one of the most underrated young players out there. I mean, he's only been in the NBA for 2 seasons, and he's already shown plenty flashes of elite scoring. He dropped 27 points and 7 threes as a rookie, and his career high so far is 36 points. Not to mention how often players take that 3rd-year leap. But y'all may think he doesn't fit on the list simply because he's about to be playing an even smaller role on the Bulls, and I can sort of see that. Now that they've assembled basically a super team with Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic, and Lonzo, Coby White is definitely not going to be in the starting lineup. However, I actually believe this has just created the perfect role for Coby White at the current state of his career, because by coming off the bench, he'll be able to completely own the role of a 6-man. Imagine having an explosive scorer on your second unit. This makes the Bulls especially dangerous. Plus, based on the quotes I've seen, Coby White has no ego, and I definitely believe he's gonna break out. So yeah, but that's about it for this list. Y'all let me know your thoughts on these players that are sometimes referred to as BUSTS, as NBA BUSTS, and also let me know anyone y'all might add to the list. And yeah, that's about it. I appreciate y'all watching as always. Definitely like the sub, share it, sub if new, all of that. Gonna definitely try to be more consistent as the NBA season begins again, and I'm out.